Howdy, this is John Litz from Reno, Nevada. We're going to talk about some ADU stuff that's pretty exciting that's coming through. And to get all the information correct, I had to actually put it onto the iPad so that I could read this off for you because I didn't want to make any mistakes with giving bad information out there. So this podcast is a call to action for your involvement in getting the Reno, Nevada ADU ordinance passed in a common sense manner. We need every agent, every broker, every lender, every title person, every appraiser, every inspector, and most importantly, every investor to come to the meetings or write emails to your city council members and representatives in favor of ADUs with the least amount of restrictions we can possibly get. State of Nevada AB396 became effective on June 6th of 2025. This is huge for us because we've been waiting to get some information going through State of Nevada for over 2 years now, and I'm sure there's been a lot of stuff that went through even before that either fizzled out or didn't actually get passed. And now that we're getting some actual push from the state, this is going to be huge for us. So let's go through some of the information that's in AB 396. It's a statewide legislation that applies to counties with greater than 100,000 people, so basically Washoe and Clark counties, as well as cities with greater than 60,000 residents, so Reno, Sparks, Henderson, North Las Vegas must all allow ADUs. Part of it is showing that they must allow at least one ADU by right and a second ADU if one unit is income restricted to households less than 80% of county median income, which is roughly $40,000 to $45,000 per year. ADUs are authorized on any parcel zoned for residential use without restriction. It does not say primary residence, and this is critical. It says residential use. It is my hope that that wording will include up to 4 units, since that is still considered residential, and 5 units or more is considered multifamily commercial. The max size is only less than 75% of the primary or 1,000 square feet. It includes expedited permitting and appeals. It has no restrictions for separate kitchens, parking, design matching, excessive setbacks, or restrictive covenants. ADUs are allowable for long-term rent. However, transient use such as short-term rentals or mid-term rentals can be restricted locally. For the State of Nevada, AB 396 is effective immediately, but local governments must adopt an ordinance to implement it by July 1st, 2026, or it automatically is authorized without restriction in residential loans statewide. There is also a conflict provision in the AB 396 saying that any local ordinance that is stricter than AB 396 becomes void and unenforceable post-deadline of July 1st, 2026. The city of Reno has already been working on their ordinance, so it can easily meet that deadline. I've been working with them for about 2 years now, and been going to all the meetings, trying to make sure that it's moving in the direction we'd like it to, and it's moving in that direction, and we've got some good proposals put together that have been working through everything. And I'm going to go ahead and go through Reno's current proposed ordinance now. They had lot sizes initially at 9,000 square feet or larger, but the Planning Commission has recommended removing lot size restrictions, so that'll be consistent with the state. The design standards, planning has recommended removing all architectural requirements for easy builds without strict restraints, so that will be consistent with the state. Parking was originally required for one off-street parking space per ADU, but planning suggests to eliminate parking requirements, so that should be consistent with the state. Setback and height. Adjustments were made to setbacks for taller buildings and to prohibit 0-foot setbacks based on council feedback. The state says it needs to be the same setbacks as a primary, so this most likely will have small changes but is fairly consistent with state. I don't see any issues with being able to meet those. The short-term rentals, although are not addressed in the ordinance for Reno, I'm sure there will be a future ordinance. Long-term rentals are allowed by the state. Reno City Council has asked the staff to start writing up some ordinance proposals for short terms during the June 4th City Council meeting. So this is coming, and it will have permits. No idea if ADUs will allow for short-term rentals or mid-term rentals, but it is our hope. For the infrastructure, each ADU will be reviewed individually during the permitting process to ensure it has adequate sewer and utility capacity. The state doesn't have anything addressed for this, but it should be fairly consistent. In Reno, throughout 2024 and 2025, there has been a huge amount of public engagement with surveys, neighborhood board meetings, city council meetings, planning commission meetings, and virtual stakeholder sessions. I have kept a close watch and wrote many emails to the city council and staff, as well as attending some of the meetings to advocate for ADUs. Finally, we have some state backing and a timeline. If we can get as many people that are interested in ADUs as possible to show up in favor of the fewest restrictions as possible, we have a real chance to make ADUs a viable investment option for the city of Reno. If possible, it would be great to get the ordinance to say ADUs can be used for all rental activities, including long-term, mid-term, and short-term usage. The state is only saying that long-terms are allowable. The local areas will decide if mid-terms or short-terms are allowed. This could be a huge lift because there is such a negative attitude towards short-terms that have been pushed by the casinos as well as the hotel industry, understandably so, since it cuts into their revenue. Of course, they will fight back with every negative remark they can make. The fact is, parties are very, very rare, but could happen. However, it gets dealt with exactly the same way as an owner or a long-term tenant is causing the exact same issue and problem. You call the police to break it up. If you want to advocate, and yes, we need everyone, come to the meetings. Upcoming Reno Planning Commission meetings are at 6 p.m. at City Hall, East 1st Street. No agenda has been set, so it is impossible to know which meetings will deal specifically with ADU information. So check the city website a few days before each meeting for agenda outlines. Grace McAden, a senior management analyst for the city of Reno, has been a huge help during this entire process. She told me specifically that the August 6th meeting would be discussing ADUs, but we need to stay on top of all the meetings. Grace will be updating further information as she has it. So the upcoming meetings for the Planner Commission is July 16th, August 6th, August 20th, September 3rd, September 17th, October 1st, October 15th, November 15th, November 20th, December 4th, and December 17th. Those are the scheduled meetings so far for this year. Now, upcoming city council meetings are at 10 a.m. City Hall, 1 East 1st Street. No agenda has been set, so it is impossible to know which meetings will specifically deal with ADUs information. So check with the city website a few days before the meetings as well for the city council meetings. And the list of dates for the city council meetings are July 23rd, July 30th, August 13th, August 27th, September 10th, September 24th, October 22nd, November 12th, November 19th, December 3rd, and December 10th. If you're interested in coming out for any of the ADU meetings or speaking with your city council members for your districts, I highly encourage you to write them, to attend the meetings, do everything you can to be able to have your voice heard in favor of ADU so that this becomes a much more viable investment option. And it should help to bring some of the infill housing into Reno and get us moving in the right direction, as well as like it has for California, for Oregon, and many other states. There's a lot of information as far as federally as well. Derek Shaquille, that ADU guy, is a wealth of information. We just had a nice meeting with him for the school at One Rental at a Time with Michael Zuber, and that was a fantastic meeting we had with him. He had a wealth of information as well as a bunch of people entertaining questions and trying to get some information on projects they might be working on in the future. I'm hoping to do several ADUs myself in the near future if we can get this stuff passed through and be able to really supercharge some of the properties I currently have and be able to optimize them even more than they are already. So again, this is John from Deconstructing Dreams, and I hope you all have a great day. Come on out and help us out with this ADU ordinance that we're trying to get through for Reno, Nevada. Have a good one. Bye.